I am starting. What's up, guys? Come on in. Come on in, everybody. Hi, guys. Come on in. Welcome. Let us know you can hear us in the chat. Just drop an X if you can hear us. Let us know. We're just setting some streams up. Come on in. Hey, guys. Oh, and the chat, I'm guessing, is always yeah, hold on one sec. For some reason, this happened about 2 weeks ago. Zoom is forcing you, locks up the chat. My guess is that they had something weird happen. If you remember, right around COVID, they actually forced you can't start a Zoom with your camera on. You actually have to turn it on because I think some weird shit, they got some problems there, and I'm sure it started happening with chat, so they locked that up. Anyway, hi guys. Stream is live, Joe. Okay, we'll give everyone a minute to come on. Hi, guys. What's up, Darlene, Katrina? What's up, Laura, Lewis? Hi, Deborah, Taria. Awesome. Had a bunch of people register for this one, and for good reason. You'll see the man right there, Mr. Bob Clark, who we're going to be talking to tonight. Welcome. If you are a guest here and you don't know, myself or the gentleman I'm going to bring out in a minute, welcome to the community. We can, if you've got a home business, my gut tells me we can help. We've been doing this a long time for about 14 years, helping create some of the biggest leaders out there. And if your business requires more leads and you want to learn how to attract the right quality prospects, build an audience, get more sales signups, if you know that your business, you're wanting to learn a little bit about digital marketing, about online marketing, your home-based business, those strategies that you're being told that, they don't work, they're outdated. You literally see the leaders and the guys and gals making money. You see them doing different things. You're being told to drop links, spam, open up dialogue. Are you open? Are you open? On to the next one. The leaders aren't doing that. You see them. In fact, you're going to see one of them show you some of the creative things that they're doing that he did to crush it on our personal leaderboard. And that they're using funnels. That they're using ways to attract and collect email addresses. That they're using technology to automate a lot of the process, to acquire, to get people on their calendars and to set up conversations where people are like, oh my gosh, Bob, is that really you? Versus click, who are you? And where's my free PlayStation? Having that type of conversation versus, oh my God, thank you, on the first handshake, on the first dialogue. That's what they're doing. We can help. And if you go to mlsp.com, in fact, we'll share a trial link at the end. You can come on in and peek under the hood 100% risk-free for 30 days. And if you don't get more leads for your business, we'll give you your $1 back. That's the guarantee. We believe in what we're doing. You'll see one of our amazing leaders and coaches tonight show you what he was up to. And Stacy Hall, good evening. What's up, Sharon? Hi, Barb. What's up, everybody? I think you guys, hi, Kim. Good evening, Mona. I think you guys are going to be blown away at the simplicity of this. So that is, let's just dive right in. And as we do dive in, thank you for being here. There were hundreds of people who were registered for this evening, and you guys are in the room here. We appreciate you, your time, your energy, your attention here for the next hour or so. We're going to bring it, and we love you, community. If you're in this thing, if you're on this webinar, we know that you're stretching, you're growing, you're working on your skills, you're working to get better. And maybe a piece of you is starting to believe more and more each day that this is real. And I hope this evening helps push you further down that path, because it is real and it is possible. And this dude figured it out, just like all of our leaders, myself included, figured out some stuff and just kept doubling down, consistently doing the thing and figuring this thing out. And this gentleman here, I've known for years, like over a decade inside this space. And what's cool about Bob is I love his story, because he came from a background where, most of our clients, most of the people in network marketing, in home business, they're like, they come in, they hate their job, they hate their, their income, they hate their career. It's just a paycheck. They're looking for something else. And Bob actually wasn't really, he was in a very prestigious position in healthcare. He got promoted. That actually, I know that took him out of doing the thing he loved doing. And he was more in like the, logistics and not in the place where he was actually wanting to be. So that was a little bit unique, but Bob wasn't the guy who was like, he needed something. He was making good money, right? He had an awesome career. He just wanted a side income, a plan B when he retired. And it was pretty cool. I've heard him say so many times that his friends, the people he was working with were like, dude, you're crazy. Like, what are you doing? And he kept going. I've been able to, met he and his wife, his bride, many years ago at events. And Bob bounced around a bunch of different companies for years, just like I did. And he kept looking, he kept searching. And guys, it wasn't really until like the last few years, he really dialed his niche in. And I'm happy to say that after about, I don't even know, 7 or 8 years, he retired from his full-time career, and he is a doctor. He has his doctorate. And now he's full-time, 100% in this career, in this business, in this side of it. Cell phone, laptop, computer. He's able to be with his grandkids, his family. He's got multiple revenue streams. You may even have him as a coach inside of MLSP. This is Bob Clark. He's the guy. He's in all of our affiliate contest runnings. And again, it wasn't until about a few years ago, guys, that's when it started dialing in. He found his audience, which was having to build this thing in part-time, because that's what he did, because he was in a full-time career. So his audience, he helps people build this thing part-time, and that's who he speaks to. And now he's free. Guys, a lot can happen. He didn't go to school for this. None of the healthcare profession teed him up for internet marketing, sales, any of this stuff, publishing content, leadership, none of it. And he got in and got to work. And here is the amazing, he just hit L4 inside of MLSP, and he did it doing exactly what we're going to talk about tonight. And we wanted you to meet him. So hi, Dr. Bob. Good evening, sir. Welcome.
What's up, Brian? Wow, lots of people. You said what? Lots of people registered. No pressure, huh? I guess I'm going to deliver tonight.
Yeah, man, you hit awesome. a huge rank here, and I know what what we're going to talk about tonight is super valuable. It's how to close sales in any business, and yeah, a lot of people are interested in going next level in whatever business they're in. And you did something cool this week.
Yeah, and the cool thing too is, what I'm going to talk to about mostly tonight is about MLSP, but what I did really can be done in any program, any company. You guys are going to see it's not rocket science, right? It's very simple, but I was just talking to Brian before this. I'm like, I don't know why I didn't do this before.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Well, cool, man. I gave you a little bit of intro, but for those who maybe don't know you, can you just just snapshot of your story, just where you came from, why you started looking, and then what's happened over the last few years, just so everybody can get to know who you are from your words.
Sure. Yeah. Well, thanks guys for coming on. I appreciate your time. I'm a late bloomer in terms of marketing, business and marketing, because I didn't start until I was in my 50s. And, it was just that time in my life where, like Brian said, I was happy in what I was doing in my job, my career. I really enjoyed what I was doing, but something kind of told me, I got remarried to my wife, Rosemary, and we were both like, let's not let anybody else dictate our future. Let's make sure that we have all our ducks lined up in a row. So when we want to leave our careers, that we do so on our own terms. And that really stuck with me. And like everybody else, I came in network marketing because I saw a pamphlet on a table at a barber shop, just like everybody else probably has, and I thought it looked really cool. And it started there. And I think my first marketing event was where I saw you and Norbert. I think it was Phoenix, Arizona, Brian, in 2008, I believe.
Good memory.
Yeah, and I fell in love. I was like, this is so cool. This is what I want to do. And somebody asked me the other day, like, what? Now you're retired. What's your hobby? And I had to think about it a minute. And I was like, marketing's my hobby. Not that I'm treating it like a hobby, but it's what I just really find fun. It jazzes me. So I was in healthcare for 35 years. I worked in infertility laboratories, so we helped families grow, help people grow their families through in vitro fertilization, and that was really rewarding. Like Brian said, until it wasn't. And I got promoted into administration, and I was miserable. And that's when I said I needed to get out. And yeah, it was about 3 years ago where I got really serious. And I had piddled around place to place, just like a lot of people do, like Brian said. But I finally said, okay. And here's what's really interesting, Brian. It's like, I've been to all these other places, and there's nothing against any programmer or anything. But when I thought, okay, where do I really want to build? MLSP was the only answer. which was really cool because I knew you guys, I trusted you implicitly. And you guys have grown so much over the years as well. It's amazing. So that's really what happened. And I just got to work and had some great mentorship with Norbert and some of the other coaches in MSP. And and then 2019, we were able to hang up our lab coats for the last time and start doing this full time. And now we do have true freedom, which is, we're very grateful for it. But it was not easy. It was, I wouldn't say it's a struggle, but we had to find our path, and sometimes it's like, going so far and bump into a wall, going another place, bump into a wall until you finally find the right path for you.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to definitely talk about some of that. Who can relate to that, right, guys? Bouncing around, not knowing what to do, not feeling confident maybe in what we're doing, or just not having, you feel like this is the right thing, but you kind of feel like lost a little bit. I mean, it took Bob, when do you actually, I didn't know it was was it really a pamphlet in a barbershop, or were you just saying that as like a,
no, it truly was.
Kidding.
It
wow.
truly
Funny.
was. I was waiting for my haircut back when I had hair and I had to get a haircut. I was sitting at a haircut. I don't know what it was, a local place. And I was just waiting, it was like third in line. And I picked up a pamphlet. We didn't have cell phones back then, and what is this? Oh, this is interesting. Brought it home to my wife and she's like, I don't know.
Did you go to a live meeting, or was it a telesummit, like a phone call, and you got started?
It was a phone call. Okay. We didn't need much to sell us on it, honestly, because we just wanted to start.
Wow.
And we did it all wrong. We did everything wrong.
Yeah.
But what we did right was we got to some conferences and some events where we met people that honestly we've known for, like you guys, for years. So we did that part right.
Right on. Wow. Talk about just marketing for a minute there. Pamphlets in the barbershop versus what we're going to be talking about tonight. Holy cow. What a different way of doing the game. And the funny thing is, guys, that we don't throw rocks at that. I mean, that got Bob into the profession. Gosh, if someone wasn't bold enough to figure out some they just pamphlets, Bob may have gone in an entirely different direction, and we wouldn't have been blessed with him in this profession. Who knows, right? But someone was out there doing something. That's awesome. Cool. And it got Bob's attention, and here we are. So cool. There's Bob Clark. And when you meet him, guys, you'll see him at hopefully Live the Dream here coming up soon. He just, and as you feel tonight, the dude who wants to serve, he cares. And he's here giving his time freely to expose or disclose what he did over the last week or so to hit a very big rank inside of MLSP. So X in the chat for the amazing Bob Clark as we get started, guys. The dude's the man. And we're going to dive in. Hi, Facebook. Hi, YouTube. Let's roll. Okay, Dr. Bob. How'd you do it, dude? How'd you do it? What's going on? So let's just paint the picture real quick. You said a little bit ago, we're going to use MLSP as an example, guys, but this can be used for any business, any industry, anything you want to go make sales quickly in, or you have a target. A lot of sales quotas are try to be met by month's end, or they have, launches or whatever. All of this applies to that. Bob, you said you just wanted to hit L4 just because you wanted to, right? Like that pretty much you wanted to hit a rank in MLSP as the example. And you said, let's go there, right? Like, I don't know. You just wanted to do it.
Well, there's more to it than that. First of all, I'm really goal oriented. So hitting ranks jazzes me. It's, I love to have goals to shoot for. So I like the fact that MLSP and other companies too have ranks to aspire to, because everybody likes to have something to look to do. Like, that's my goal, right? So that's been my goal. But quite honestly, I got busy with some of my other stuff, and I was, I'd hit the L3 a while back, and kind of just doing my own thing for a while, creating my own lead magnets and all the stuff that MLSP teaches to do. I was doing for my own business. Yeah. And then I just kind of serendipitously just was checking out MLSP when I was coaching a client, and I was showing him the leadership development stuff, that I'm going to actually share my screen in a minute and show these guys to make sure they know where it is. But all of a sudden I realized, wow, I'm only like 25 points away from L4. Mm. And that got me going, right? That juice is like, let's go. Like, I got to figure out a way to do this. So it was kind of like that. And to be honest, I've been in this game long enough to know that results speak louder than anything. And I'll never forget, Brian, you probably don't remember this, but way back, because I'd known you for so long, it was back probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and I messaged you on Facebook, I think, and I was like, Brian, I'd really love to give back to MLSP because I love that community. So if I can help train in any way, let me know. And you were so nice. You're like, oh yeah, dude, definitely, dude, that would be awesome. Just get to work and get some results, and we're in. And that really told me something, right? I caught that. It was almost like you said, almost under your breath, like put in a message, but I got it, right? I got it. It was like, yeah, I got to get some results. You just can't walk in here to any place, right? The people with results are the ones who train and the people who serve. So I've always been aware of that. So I knew just going up to another rank would just be like another step in that right direction.
Yeah.
And man, I want one of those honey badger things too. I see that. I see people with that, and I want that.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, we've got a honey badger L5 leader level 5 level at our Live the Dream events. We give out jerseys, and that is like top dog, like big time. L4 is huge. L5 is like the summit. And I have no doubt, man, if you as you guys will see tonight, my guess is that when that time is right, Bob's going to do the same damn thing he did to hit L4 on a greater scale to hit L5.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah.
Already thinking about it.
Yeah. All right, dude. Well, let's talk, man. Yeah. So tell us, I know a little bit about what went on, but what did you do? And I'll guide you and we'll have some fun. Guys, drop questions in the Q&A. We're just going to start the conversation. We don't have slides prepared. We're just going to have an interview style. Take notes because there are pieces there is a structure and a framework to what Bob did. And we're going to talk about it right now. Okay.
All right, let's go. All right. So I want to take you guys kind of through my thought process first before I tell you what I actually did. All right. So as I said, I checked out the leadership development tab in MLSP, and I'm thinking, okay, I think it was 22 active points I still needed. And when I started looking at, in MLSP, if you bring in a starter member, it's 1 point, professional is 3 points, premium is 5 points. So as I looked at that, and I was thinking, okay, so then I need 22 new people to come in at starter, right, to hit that level. And then I started thinking, like, okay, well, wait a minute, what if I got those people to come in at premium? What would that look like? I only need 5 to do that. Right. And then, thought some more, like, okay, how could I make that happen? Like that's a big jump. It's not a small jump. It's $50 versus 179. So it's a little bit of a jump monetarily, but it's a big commitment for people. I understand that, it was for me too. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of how I first started thinking about this stuff. And anytime you make an offer, at least for me, that's where it starts, right? Like you start brainstorming ideas, like what could I do? What would happen? And what I didn't tell you, Brian, is that I've tried something similar to that a while back, and it flopped, totally flopped. I thought I'm going to give people a whole bunch of training courses and they're going to all go up to premium, and look at me, right? And lo and behold, nobody took my offer.
Interesting.
Right. So that gave me a little clue. Right. They say success leaves clues, so do disappointments, right? They also leave clues. Mm-hmm. And so I wasn't going to go down that path again. And when I created the offer that I'll tell you about in a minute, I wasn't sure if it was going to work either, quite honestly. But, if you don't try, you don't know. So that was kind of my whole mindset going into this. It's, what is the shortest distance between where I am to where I want to be, and how do I get there? Right. So the shortest distance was premium, and I needed 5 premium members. How do you get there was the problem. So what I came up with, and here's where it gets kind of, it's very simple, right? Like, but it's interesting. So what I did was,
just real quick, the thing that didn't work was courses for you versus what we're going to dive into. That was the only difference was what is in the offer, right? Like, yeah. Okay, yeah. Cool. All right, guys. Cool.
Yeah. So those of you guys don't know, I coach for MLSP. I also have a group coaching program of my own, and people pay X amount of money in there it's a bi-weekly program. So every 2 weeks we meet up and we We talk about their business. So I wanted to use that as a framework because that's worked really well for me, time-wise and efficiently, and everybody seems to really like it. So I wanted to stick in that framework. So I thought to myself, okay, what if, right? And every offer starts with what if, right? What if I was to offer people who wanted to go up to premium group coaching? I wonder if that would work. So I started thinking, okay, maybe a month of group coaching. Well, that doesn't sound that, that's only two sessions. That doesn't sound enough. So I decided I want to make this offer like such a no-brainer that I could really push the envelope. So the offer was, if you go to premium and MLSP, I will give you 6 months of coaching, group coaching from me. Okay. Now here's where it gets a little bit, maybe some people may not agree with this, I'm not sure, but I just said, look, all you have to do is go to premium for 1 month. After that, if you want to drop down the starter, you can. If you want to drop out of MLSP, that's your option. I'm still going to honor the commitment of 6 months. Okay, now some people are probably like, well, Jesus, that sounds like that doesn't sound like a good offer at all.
Crazy.
Right? Mm-hmm. But when you actually dissect it, it really wasn't that much more of a time commitment for me because I already had a group coaching thing in place. I was just adding more people to it. So even if I have to add another session, it's only 1 extra hour every 2 weeks, right? To do this. So that's what really attracted me to it. Because, like you said, my whole thing is part-time. And I want to make things time efficient because how am I going to recommend it if it takes too much time?
Yeah.
So for me, an hour every 2 weeks, I can do that. That's fine. And they liked it because, maybe they're not sure about premium, but they wanted to test it out. And now they're going to get a chance to test it out. And, what I'll be doing in that group coaching is, talking about all the tools they get in premium, talking about everything they get with premium. And, if they want to drop down, that's fine, but they're not going to get the same offer as they would before from MLSP. So, yeah, I mean, some people will probably drop down. I know that. But that's okay with me because here's the other aspect to it that I learned from you guys, actually, is it's not always about the money. It's not financial, right? I mean, yeah, I made money doing that for sure. But a lot of the time it's about the exposure that goes along with it. Now, I'm always preaching to my clients about exposure agents, right? What I call exposure agents. And MLSP for me is a big exposure agent because, I mean, let's face it, if I didn't hit L4, I wouldn't be here tonight. Right? I mean, I might have made it later, but that's what it was. Because I hit a rank and Brian took notice and Brian says, what are you doing? Like, I'm seeing all these premium things coming in. What are you doing? So I got on his radar. Right. And that's what a lot of this stuff is, because it takes a long time to grow an audience. We know that.
Yeah.
But when you can tap into other people's audiences, you can really compress time and go way faster. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Guys, that is okay. So we're gonna dive deeper.
A lot to unpack. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so and what Bob just said, guys, is one of the, whether it's MLSP or if someone else can help share your audience, guys, it's something I did too, being able to tap into other people's audience, whether you buy it or you earn it the way Bob has, that is building an audience is sometimes difficult. It is. And when you can take shortcuts the way Bob has, this evening, he just got mailed. I think that went out, a list of 300 some thousand people saw his name. Not a bad deal. Right. Yep. He earned that. He didn't buy that. He didn't buy a solo ad or anything. He earned it. Right. And I don't know if you've got a company that can do that, great. That's one of the big byproducts here of MLSP. And Bob, you actually use group coaching. So guys, the offer, cat out of the bag, was that group coaching Bob is doing anyway. It was bi-weekly, twice a month. That's twice bi-weekly. Whenever people say bi, it actually means two different things. Actually, I looked it up.
I know.
Yeah, so once every 2 weeks,
exactly.
He's doing a group coaching. So now, how did you? And he reverse engineered it, guys. He's like, look, I can get 20 some members this way or 5 this way. And obviously 5 is easier than 22. So he put on his marketer's cap, and what could I do? He tried it with courses. It didn't work. And now he came back to the drawing table and said, hey, what could I, he's getting feedback as this group coaching thing he's got going on. People are digging it. They see value in that. So now, okay, I'm here on this webinar, Bob. I've got this group coaching as the offer. When you buy this membership, go up to premium, you get access to Bob Clark for 6 months, which again, he's doing anyway. He's already doing a group coaching. He's just he's using this as a carrot, as a value stack to get people to upgrade to whatever level in your company, buy your coaching program, whatever, or MLSP in this example. How did you actually present it? Did you just talk when someone raised their hand? Did you get on the phone with them, or did you have an offer slide deck webinar? How did you actually relay? Because that's a pretty sexy offer, access to Bob through a group coaching for 6 months to bump up. That's cool. That's cool.
Right. This was done almost solely through my existing members. Okay. So that's first.
Okay.
So everything MLSP teaches, grow your audience, right? Build your list so you have somebody to present stuff to. That all applied. And in fact, you guys helped me out. You didn't know it, but you helped me out because you had that challenge a few weeks ago, right? The new challenge. And I was able to get some people in there, and they saw the value of MLSP. And a couple of those people moved up to premium because they were like, this is great. I want more of it. So that's always one of my strategies is when you guys have a challenge, to do my best to get as many people in there as possible. Because those, a buyer is always going to be the easiest person to get to go to another buy, right?
Sure.
Always going to be. So I did present it to my email list, and I got some people interested. And I think one person actually joined MLSP but didn't do the premium. So I did that. I did talk about it a little bit in my Facebook group, but not a whole lot. But mostly what I did.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I mean, mostly what I did was I got on Messenger and I started talking to my existing members.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And, and it's like anything else. Like a bunch of them said, no, it's not the right time. I'm doing something else, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But there were a handful who were like, yeah, I think I want to do that.
So how did that conversation, and now I'm getting into like the weeds and the nitty gritty here, but how did that, okay, you've got guys, so he's got members, and it sounded like, he emailed his list. So not just members saw this offering, but the core with what he did, you can get members in MLSP for $1. Probably, Bob just said he uses the challenges, which are $1, as a way to acquire customers in MLSP. Most of the upgrades to premium came from his current customer base. Okay. And now we're talking about he's hitting them up in Messenger. And how did that conversation start? Yeah.
So really I started out with, hey, I'm checking in with you because you're an MLSP with me. Mm-hmm. How is it going with MLSP with you? What's your experience been? And some of them I knew well enough, or I already knew it, but that's how I usually started. And almost to a person, it's interesting. They said, I see the value, but I just can't stay consistent. I'm having trouble with consistency. I'm having trouble knowing, because there's a lot in MLSP, right? I'm having trouble knowing exactly what I should be doing, even though we hammer it, right? So if they're paying attention, they probably should know it. But everybody has lives. They're all doing different things. But so the people who were some people said, nope, not the time for me. That's fine. Other ones were like, this is my problem. So then I knew, okay, well, I said, if I help solve your problem, would that interest you? And they're like, yeah, tell me more. Right.
And
I just came flat out and told them.
of consistency, to be specific.
Yeah. Consistency and focus, those two main things, right? And then I just got really honest with them. I said, look, this is what I'm offering to my existing membership, right? People who are at the starter level. This is what I'm offering. And to be honest, so I got really transparent. I said, look, I'll be honest with you. I'm trying to hit another level in MLSP.
Interesting.
And this will help me do it. But more importantly, you get 6 months of me where we're going to set your plan and we're going to keep you focused on it and consistent on it. And, at the end of those 6 months, you should see a jump in your business with MLSP or anything else you want to do it on.
Wow.
So, I just got really honest about it. I didn't want there to be any pretense, and I didn't want anybody to find out later that, oh, look, he was only trying to rank up, right? That's why.
Right.
So it was a win-win. I tried to present it that way.
Cool.
That makes sense?
Yeah, man. Guys, so
there wasn't much to it. I mean,
I love it. Hitting up current members. Hey, this is, checking in. And again, one of the key things Bob has is a heart. Like, he does want to serve. His people feel that. You looking for a secret sauce, that's going to be like right at the top of the list, is like actually fucking care. And Bob does, and his people feel that. So when he has a conversation, hey, I'm just circling back. How are things? I'm checking in. And then, okay, he gathers feedback. Hey, my problem is focus or consistency. And then he's like, well, here's what's up. And he just to be honest, I'm trying to hit a leader level rank, and I can help you with that consistency and or focus. And he frames up a group coaching to solve that specific problem if they just upgrade to X, what in this case, premium. That's what is that right, Bob? Like,
yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Okay. And then in that, are you, as far as like getting specific with like, hey, the bi-weekly coaching, 6 months of that added bonus when they upgrade, are you doing anything? Did you do anything fancy with Zoom or slide decks or presentations, or was it just through text? Awesome.
I didn't do anything. I didn't do any presentation. So yeah, but I know a bunch of people here are probably thinking, well, that's fine because he had a team. He had people to go to.
Right.
And yeah, that's true. Right. But that's why it's so important to focus on these dollar trials, to get people in these challenges, to keep building your audience. Because I still do that, Brian. I still do that to this day. I still reach out to 5 people a day on Facebook, and I still all do all this stuff because I know that's what got me here. Right. And yeah, I have lead magnets, I have other stuff too, but I still do the groundwork on it because that's, for me, it's always been Messenger. Messenger's always been where I've gotten most of my results. So when I can get somebody into a dollar trial, and when they stick, now I've got somebody to work with.
Yeah.
Right. So, if you're sitting out there and you're like, well, I don't have a team, okay, go get one. Go grow your audience, go talk to them. And when MLSP seems like the right fit, make the offer and get good with that. And that's only done by repetition. I was terrible at it when I first started. I was so afraid to ask for a sale. Like, it was really pitiful. I think I'm the anti-closer, right?
Well, yeah, I'm glad
but I'm more now.
Yeah, you're the man now. I mean, dude, you guys, again, it's just we go through that process, right? And now he's able to boldly, which we'll talk about at some point here, present an offer. That's like, my mentor would call that. I remember, I was afraid to create offers too, and he's like, "Look, this is like brass balls." Forgive me not to be offensive there, but that's what he would say. It's like not more than half of this game is just being bold enough to ask. And then, growing that confidence and that certainty and the belief in whatever you're asking them to buy, man, you'll make money. And guys, does Bob sound like this sleazy car salesy, like wanting to get somebody or manipulate somebody to XYZ, like, or was that like, do you think his buyers are going to be like, they're going to get some value from Bob, who had trouble with focus and consistency himself and figured some things out and is full time now? Do you think there's a benefit or a value add to the buyer? And of course, the byproduct is Bob hits his goals of L4, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's guys, that's Bob, I love this, that and the fact that you brought up the objection. I know that people are already asking, well, I don't have a group or I don't have a team. Guys, keep in mind, Bob didn't either. And he had to get consistent with his publishing. He had to get seen. He had to increase his skills. He had to consistently publish content and grow his audience. He just said he still does it today. 5 people a day before his head hits the pillow. There's no shortcut around that. Because he did that, he now can do this, right? They have a relationship with Bob. They see him. They know he's here to stay. He's not like here today, gone tomorrow. He's been doing this and he shows up for his tribe. That's a huge key. And if you didn't or don't have a team, start there. It's like that's step one. You're just in build mode. And you could still create an offer like this in build mode. Like for real, like you don't need to have a team to tap into. It helps because it's an easier ascension, an easier sale, but we just got to start building. That's it.
Yeah. And like, for example, I was telling Brian before, two of the people who did this, who went to the premium, took the premium offer with the group coaching, were trials that came in 2 weeks before through that challenge.
There you go.
Right. So why couldn't you do that? Right. Get some people into those challenges, let Brian and Norb and Jim work their magic on them. Right. So they see the value and they stick, and then you make your offer. Right. It's really not that difficult. It's just a matter of a lot of it's belief, like that you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we were talking about.
Well, we're going to talk about belief, guys. We're going to save that to like probably the last 10 minutes. Are there any questions about the logistics? I thought there was going to be a slide deck or something fancy with a checkout cart.
I told you.
Because there wasn't even a checkout cart. Most of it was just, hey, MLSP, go upgrade.
That's exactly what it was. Yeah. As soon as I see it come through, I'll put you in my group coaching.
I mean, bypassing all the pain in the ass stuff that I thought we were going to get into tonight with offers and creative. I mean, I knew this was about, because we were chatting through Slack and I kind of saw what he was up to. But guys, I mean, it doesn't get much easier than this. Are there any questions about anything Bob did or said, or the process, or maybe handling objections, or how did he, when people said they weren't ready, how did that go? How did that feel? What happened there? Do you guys have any questions around there? And please use the Q&A. Mike, these leads he's talking about, most of them were, well, he did email his list. Bob, you answered. Do you use organic leads or paid ads or both?
Up until about 3 months ago, it's purely organic. I have started running some leads, some paid ads in Facebook now, just to grow my personal list. It's not an MLSP list. But so I've started doing that. I'm still kind of fine tuning that process. But all the people in MLSP with me are from organic. There was no paid ads involved.
Cool.
Yeah.
There you go. Guys, I remember what we're seeing tonight is the power of an offer. It's like 101, guys, the power of an offer. He put together a very simple bi-weekly 6-month group coaching that he was doing already. He reached out to prospective clients who would be interested in that, who already knew him, and he made an offer. That's it. Sarah, Bob, what were you messaging people in Messenger? Do you want to repeat that? Like what initially, how that started? Just one more time, like just, I guess, how to start the conversation. You're reaching out to Messenger. You said that was your medium, the way that you communicate with your team. Right.
So these were two people on my team. So my initial message was, hey, I'm just, I'm reaching out to you because you're on my MLSP team. And I just want to see, like, how are you doing with it? Are you having any problems with it? Is it still working for you? And almost all of them said, I see the value in MLSP, I get it, but my life is so hectic. Everybody has a different story toward that. But it's all basically around the same theme of, I don't know where to focus. And even if I did know where to focus, I'm not consistent with anything. So that's what I really need help with. And some of it is accountability. Some of it, they need a direction, they need someone to be accountable to, and that's fine with me. I can serve that purpose. Everybody in here can do that. That's not hard. And if you've never had a group coaching before and wonder about that, basically it's just, talking to somebody, so maybe you have like 4 people in your group coaching with you, and it's going through each person and saying, okay, what are you struggling with right now? What are you working on? What are you struggling with? What do you need help with? And it's a little scary. It was a little scary for me at first, because I was like, what if this person asked me something I don't know? That was a little scary. But I soon realized that, and it did happen a couple of times, but I would just pivot and point them back into MLSP to where they could find the answer. So a big part of this is, guys, know your system, right? Dive into MLSP, know what's there, and know how to find answers for people. You don't have to have the answers, but just say, oh, that's in this challenge over here. You should go check out that challenge, and they're happy because they get to work on something. And so it's not nearly as scary as you think it might be. Most people are just need help with directions, like show me where to go here.
Yeah.
So it's because I know, like when I first started group coaching, I was a little bit scared about it, to be honest. Can I do this? Do I know enough? And even if you're just starting, you know enough, more than the person behind you, right? You always know something more. So that I think is a key too, is don't be like scared off by the whole group coaching model where you think you have to be the expert. You just have to know where to help people. And at times I've said to people, I don't know the answer, but let me go find out. And I would literally go bug Brian or Norb or somebody else, or Jim, where do I find this? Right. Mm-hmm. And, they help you. So, don't let that intimidate you. If your mind is going there, I could never do group coaching, because you can.
Yeah. We're going to get to that, guys. Who here thinks this is a cool idea? I mean, this is what Bob did. That maybe if you got together just a group and you leveraged it, you go live every other week and you help people solve this problem and you engage and you commune and you add some value there, that maybe that would be a sweet, really something kick someone off the fence if they're about to join your opportunity coaching MLSP, that could be a leverage point and a differentiator, and to get people to join you instead of anybody. That is the distinction. They get live coaching with you and support and help. You think that could move the needle or help you push sales, but maybe you feel like you're not ready. We'll talk about that in a minute or two here, because that is going to be a big chunk, a big step, and we're going to hopefully push some of you off the fence on that idea tonight. David is asking, what's up, David and Kim? So Bob, can you clarify? I came on late. You didn't offer any bigger coaching package first and then fall back to MLSP Premium. That was the lead, right? That was the offer.
Yeah, it was kind of like, if that didn't work, I was going to figure out something else. But to be honest, I just I was testing. I was really testing to see what would work, and luckily on my second shot I hit it, and I hit the one that worked. So no, and honestly, is that David who asked that question?
Yeah, David and Kim.
Yeah, honestly, David, I didn't want to have a bunch of I even thought about it. What if I wanted them to go annual premium and offered individual coaching, right, to each person? And I did think about that, but it just didn't fit in my time calendar right now. I'm not saying I'll never do that. And I might offer that to, once the 6 months is up, I may offer that to that group of people who are in there because they got enough experience of what I'm about. I may do that. I may say, if you're interested in individual, we can go there. But it's like the 80-20 rule, right? It's always 20% of people kind of take your offer if you're lucky. Yeah. And then the people who do 20% will go to the next level, and you kind of jump up like that. So that's kind of my plan going forward, is maybe I'll offer that after the 6 months is up.
Cool.
The individual stuff, but no, I didn't offer it out of the gate.
There you go. Hi, Sharon. So your group coaching, do you have only MLSP members, only members of your business, or a combination? Do you sell that one off or as a core product of yours, the group coaching or anything?
Yeah, so I would say everybody except one person is an MLSP, right? In that group coaching. I think that's true. Maybe two. However, I didn't make that exclusion, right? I did tell people who are not an MLSP, if you want to join MLSP and go to premium, I will coach you in whatever you want me to coach you on, whatever you want to build. So it wasn't exclusively for that, although that's the way it turned out. Because the way I do my group coaching is I go to each person individually and we work on that person, and everybody learns from that person, and we move on to the next one, and we go around the room, the Zoom room, right?
That's awesome. Before we move on, there's a couple of questions about like how do you actually do group coaching, guys? There you go. What do you teach? Is it a Q&A? You can finish your thought, but can you come back to that for sure? That's a question. Like, what does Bob do physically on the coaching? That's cool. I want to learn more.
Yeah. Well, if I have something I want to teach, like I might just take 5 or 10 minutes and just teach them a concept that I think would be beneficial to all of them. But then we very quickly pivot to, okay, Brian, what's going on this week? What are you working on? What are you struggling with? Let me help you. And you go and you tell me what you're doing. And I will occasionally get people who are like, I didn't do anything this week, but I wanted to show up. And that's awesome. Then we pivot to, okay, why didn't you do anything? What happened? Like, nothing personal, but, was there a block that we can work on? Because I always tell people, don't not show up because you didn't do anything, because that's often the best learning experience you can have is when you don't do the stuff. So sometimes there's conversations like that, and it's just really just talking people through their own stuff. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not trained in that. And if it gets too deep, I'll tell them I'm not qualified to really talk about that. But most times it's just, I've got so much going on in my life, and this came up and that came up and that came up. And a lot of it is like just training them not to beat themselves up. Like you always talk about on Fridays, Brian, like, okay, you didn't hit your goals. Don't beat yourself up, pick up and move on. A lot of it is that. So I go around the room, right? However people on there. And what's really nice about it is what I've noticed is, because I've done this in the past, people will actually learn from the other people's questions or struggles. And some will even chime in and give other answers after a while when they feel comfortable. So it's a real learning experience. It's really very beneficial. And I actually prefer it now to individual coaching because you can learn so much from other people.
Awesome. Yeah, cool. There you go, guys. And there were some questions about like size, like does it matter? Like, I know that's going to be a thing when we shift the mindset here. Like, what if I only have one person in the group? Do I still do it? What if, is that worth it? All the things, like, what are your thoughts on any of that? Before.
Yeah, I mean, to me, as long as you have one person, it's worth it. Because not only are you're helping that one person, that should matter.
Yeah.
Right? But also you're practicing your own skills. So as you coach this person, you're getting more confident, right? You're understanding the process of it. So I've had group coaching sessions where only one person showed up, but you show up because you promised. And sometimes the best breakthroughs I've had is when only one person shows up, because they get all the time, right?
Yeah.
So my guys know, like, I'm doing it this time. If you can't show up, we're going to record it. If you have questions beforehand, ask me and I'll talk about it. So we cover it all. Because a lot of people are in different time zones, so it does get a little tricky sometimes. But they seem to be okay with, as long as they can ask questions beforehand and you talk about it, they get their answers in the recording. So that seems to be fine too.
Well, that's cool.
It's size. I don't know if I have a real good answer for that yet. I tended to go, like, right now it was at 6, it's going to more. So I'm probably going to add another session, because I don't know if I want to have 8 or 10 people in there at one time. Because, people lose interest too after a while. They lose focus.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll probably add another session right now. I just pulled the people in the group to see what a good time would be. I like to keep it around 5-ish. That's probably my optimal number.
Cool. And in that, everyone's engaging in the roundtable, right? And like the hot seat
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Well, they do. I mean, and if they didn't do anything, we talk about that.
Yeah.
And sometimes they just don't want to talk, and that's okay. They showed up, they're listening to other people, and that's cool.
Awesome. There you go, guys. Yeah. Cool. Thanks, man. Okay, Mike, what's up? You are not the only one with this question. Your coaching has value, obviously, because you already built it. How do we build value in our coaching fast enough to have an offer people would want? How do we know when we are ready? I guess that's where choosing a niche is important. So any feedback on any of that? I know that was a big one.
Yeah, that's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
As far as choosing a niche, I mean, yeah, that's what we preach on in MLSP, right? You need to figure out where you fit into the big scheme of things. And it can be, because, you know, if your niche is network marketers, you're going to blend in with everybody else. But if your niche is network marketers who are also adult caregivers, right, who are facing retirement, and you know that's a whole,
Yeah.
that's a different niche, right? And I have a client who does that, and we're working on that.
Nice.
So you know, you've got to figure out, and you know, MLSP is great for helping you with that too. You got to figure out where you fit in. And the clue I usually tell people is, who are you? And you probably know your niche better than anybody if it's you.
Yeah.
And so it's very low stress. So that's the first part to that is, you know, you got to know where you fit in. And it's time well spent is figuring that out and running it by people and talking about it. But once you do that, you know, then it's really a matter of, I'm simplifying it, I guess, but just doing what MLSP teaches in the phase 1 social media and prospecting. You know, that's how I did it. You know, when I went to Norm and said, I want to get out of my job, and he looked at my audience numbers and he said, they're really weak. It's like, you don't have enough audience. And I already knew it, but having him say it and show me in numbers, I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah. He sent me right to that, the social media networking and prospecting. And I worked my ASS off for 90 days to see what, because I wanted to prove to myself that it worked, right? And it did, it worked. And so, you know, that's where it begins. So if you don't like know where to start, work on your niche, but then, you know, dive into the phase 1 training in MLSP. Dive in there. And if you're not in MLSP, you know, take a trial and look at this stuff, because it gives you all the answers right there. It's really a matter of, and this is the big part, right? Focusing just on that and doing it every day. You know, that's really what it's focus, consistency. I harp on this all the time, but once you know what to do, the only thing that's holding you back is actually doing it. Right. And I mean, to be transparent, do I love social media networking and prospecting? Not really. I don't. You know, I like the tech. I like to do funnels. I like all that stuff, which I use, right, in conjunction with the basic stuff, which I still do, because it does work. So, and the last part of that question, how do I know when I'm ready? You get to decide. Nobody else is going to make that decision for you. And that's, you know, we were talking about that too, about the confidence factor, right? The only way you know if you're ready is to do it and to try it and see how it goes. And I love to use this phrase. I use it all the time in my business and in my personal life. Like, what's the worst that could happen?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the stakes in marketing are pretty low. Nobody's going to die, right? You know, back when I was working, you know, we'd carry a petri dish in our hands that if we dropped it, the patient would be out $50,000. You know, that was high stakes. So I guess I compare it to that kind of stuff. To this, you know, it's not, what's the worst that's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Not much. Somebody might get mad at you. Okay, you know, you'll survive. So, you know, if you think it in that terms, you know, why not try it? Because the upside is so high, right? If you put together an offer like this and you pulled it off, right? Think of what, and you know, it's not just like I've talked about this for going to premium. You can put this kind of offer to entice people to do anything, right? Anything in your MLM company, anything to get people into starter. You can put together some offer, maybe not exactly like this, but something like it, right? Because people, as much as maybe they say don't want it, they really want the touch, the human touch, to help.
Yeah.
More than anything else, because that's what they're afraid of. They'll get in there and they'll get lost and they're gonna waste money because they won't know what to do. That's the big fear, right? So if you create a little offer where, hey, you know, you want to get an MLSP at starter, I'll be there to help you. You know, we'll join hands every couple of weeks and make sure you're on the right path. It's not a big time commitment if you do it in group.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you could use this really thing for anything you want to do at all, honestly. And like I said to you earlier, Brian, before we start on that, I could kick myself for really not pushing this before.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of did it once, it didn't work, kind of put it in the back burner for a while and didn't come back to it until now. And you know, I wish I had.
Crushed it. Yeah, I'm glad. Okay, we're starting, you guys. This is the key, like, because think about what Bob did, guys. He just hit up people who he had some influence with, he had in a relationship with, which if you're not quite there yet, okay, we're just in build mode. Okay, and you can still do this with people you're just starting a conversation with as well. All he did was he offered a 6-month, every other week group coaching, and it was like a 5 people type group coaching on Zoom. I assume on Zoom, and he's literally going through and just doing like spot coaching with each 5. Okay, and that's it. And he would say, hey, how is your experience going with X, with MLSP, opportunity, whatever? In this case, MLSP. Found out they were having, biggest problems were consistency and or focus, created a group coaching solution and said, hey, I can help you with that. And here's the deal. And he didn't mess around with Keynote, Google Slides, PowerPoint. He didn't mess around with checkout carts or stacking funnels or anything like that. And all of those are beautiful. And we teach all that. We have all the software. He just got to the root and said, hey, upgrade to premium. And I'm going to give you bi-weekly coaching that will help you do X. And X, of course, is exactly what they said their problem was. Now, I know that a lot of people on this call, just like Mike's question here, right? How do we add value in ourselves? How do we believe that we can actually do this? The story of why you can't, the story of why you're not ready, the story of why you haven't gotten the result. That's the only thing stopping you from doing what Bob just laid out this evening. It's the only thing, because even if you're brand new today, this is also a key piece of this whole thing, is like actually get out of the imposter stuff. The reason, Bob, that I know you agree too, the people that, they would get hung up on this is because they're going to say silly stuff that isn't true. Like, guys, we're not going to go off and say, hey, I'm going to teach you how to build a 6-figure business if you're day one. Like, that's inauthentic. That's going to feel weird. That's going to feel weird for you because it's not real. What we can do is go get one lead and say you're doing a group coaching on how you got your first lead, because people are one chapter behind you. Someone is somewhere. Someone just got started just now. Oh, just right now. Oh, just a second ago in home business. Oh, just again. You're further along the path. And if you don't have a lead yet, go get a result. And if maybe you're in step 1 of the start here and you're just learning about attraction marketing and clean up your profile, create a group coaching on how to create your profile. You might have to spend an hour or 2 learning, but then you could get out of your own way and do what Bob showed you tonight. You could. Are we going to? Well, let's open up that conversation.
Yeah.
You could do it. Bob, what do you think of all that?
Yeah, I'm just Deborah Holbrook just had a really good comment. She said, plus look how much you will learn along the way. Mm-hmm. And that's very true, right? As like the more you grow as a marketer, the more confidence you're going to have, the more you can help people. So it does push you to learn more, to implement more, to do more, because now you've got other people who are looking to you, right? And then the other thing I'll say that I mentioned before is, do not be afraid to say, I don't know the answer.
Yeah, for sure.
Because then you just hop into MLSP VIP community on Facebook and you say, hey, what's the answer to this? And you'll get 5 or 10 people giving you ideas, right? So, there will be stuff you don't know. There's stuff I don't know.
Stuff I don't know.
Yeah. I had one the other day, somebody asked me a question. I didn't know what the answer was. So I had to go into MLSP and find it. And that's okay. People don't care if you will help them. They don't care. I'm sorry. What was the question you asked me? I kind of lost track.
Having a conversation around like, how do I do this if I don't have a result yet? Could I do it? Do I need to wait? When am I enough? When am I able to do what Bob did? When could I be and go off and present some type of bi-weekly group coaching to my audience? Like, when can Bob come over and knight me so that I'm enough and ready? And then just having that conversation,
I think the key to it is not over promising. Like it would be like me going and telling, all right, guys, come into my group coaching. I'm going to show you how to hit L8 and MLSP or L7, right? Or, if you're an L0, I'm going to show you how to hit L5. You don't know how to do that because you didn't do that yet.
Right.
Right. But you do know, maybe you generated a couple leads. Well, that's what you know. Right. Or maybe you know your way around MLSP and say, I'm going to help you make sure you don't get lost. I'm going to show you the right things to do first, second, third, so that you're engaged and you can get the most out of your experience, right? That doesn't sound like much, but to somebody just coming in,
Man.
that's invaluable, right? Everybody here could do that if you're engaged at all in the community. And if you're not an MLSP, and know your own business, know it well, so that you can direct people like, yeah, oh, that's a support question. Oh, that's this, that's that. Oh yeah, you want to go over to this, live daily coaching over here. You want to do that. Make sure you watch the podcast or listen to podcasts. So the more you know the community, the more you dive in, the more valuable you're going to be for anybody coming in. I mean, honestly, I know Valerie makes our lives so easy with the new member orientation. She just does such a great job. But I do make it a point to know a lot of the stuff that she's talking about.
Yeah. Because
then I can help people rather than just saying, go ask Valerie, right? I can actually help him do that. So, it's, what is the saying, Brian? Over deliver and under promise, right? Where I start getting shaky on it is if I started thinking about offering something that I hadn't done yet.
Bingo.
That would make me skittish to do it. And as a rookie, I almost went that way a couple of times and realized that just wasn't me, and I wouldn't be able to sleep at night, basically. So, wherever you are, there, like Brian said, there's always people underneath you who don't know what you know. Even if you just made the decision to start your business, there's people out there who never made that decision. So there's always stuff. And the big thing for me is it's no shame to say you don't know something. Just go at it, because the MLSP community will help you whatever you don't know. So, I guess that's my thought is, and like I said, nobody's going to say, hey, it's your time, let's go do this. Right. You just have to say, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. And here's a cool idea, guys, is that if you're playing that game, like I need to have made $3,000 a month, and then I'll do what Bob's talking about. You're coming at this whole game of life from a place of lack. Like, I'm not enough until I hit this result. I guarantee you that when you hit that goal, and you could grind it out, you could hit that goal. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be fulfilling. It'll be like a drug. If you hit it, it'll wear off ever so quickly. And then that cycle, it'll be like, oh shit, I'm not enough. I got to go hit $5,000 a month. And then I'll be enough to launch the group coaching, because nothing changed then, or 10 grand. Like, we got to start owning our own value and our belief in self. And do you think, Bob didn't just jump into this business and be like, okay, I'm going to start group coaching, right? He got good. You've heard him say the word value. I don't even know how many times tonight. He increased his value. He increased his skills, right? Which takes a little bit of time. And now he's able to, because of that, he's able to turn around and pour back into others in a way where he can create an offer off the fly like this and hit a rank and go do the thing. If you're on this webinar thinking this is cool, but only Bob could do it, wake up. Guys, if you're waiting for a result to feel enough, the result is never going to, if you're at all ever playing that game where something outside you needs to happen for you to feel enough to do something, if you hit it, it's still not going to be enough, because someone else is making more money. Someone else has a bigger house, a bigger car. And then you're just in this wheel of, this cycle of unworthy, of I'm not enough. And it's going to be very difficult to create wealth or paying clients from that state. I've done it. I've tried it unconsciously. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
So Bob, anything else you want to leave us with as far as because an overlying theme of everything is, when am I ready? Could I really do this? Any other words of wisdom if someone's listening to you and saying, this is pretty good and it's really not that hard, but I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah. Believe in yourself. That's probably the biggest thing is, you're capable of way more than you think you are in probably most things in your life. And this is just one of them. And, the more you put it off, and I always, I don't know who actually told me this first, but I always take it to heart. The more you delay, right, the more you're putting off not only your results, but other people's results who you're not able to help because you're not jumping out yet to do it. Right. So who knows, the person that you might help with something you say that might take that and change their life. Right. It doesn't seem possible when you don't know that much or you don't think you know that much, but it's really possible. I always tell this story, Brian, because it's one of my favorite stories. But back when I was just kind of going different places, for a while, I got really consistent in YouTube videos, and I did about 40 to 50 videos on YouTube. This is back like 2014, 15, something like that. And nobody was watching my videos. At least it felt like nobody was watching my videos. I didn't get any comments. Nobody was subscribing. I felt like I was talking to a vacuum. Nobody was listening. And I even said to Rosemary, my wife, I'm like, I think I'm going to stop doing this because, yeah. And right about that, I went to an event. I think it was a Live the Dream event. I'm not sure which one, but it was one of my first ones because I was walking into the event and I didn't know anybody, and it was just getting ready to start, and all these people were talking, and I'm just walking down the center aisle trying to find a seat, and this girl jumps out in front of me, and she's like, "I know you," and I'm like, "I don't know who this is." I know I told the story before. My wife tells me I repeat stories, but I like it because it proves a point, right? She goes, "You don't know me, but I've watched your videos, and they've really helped me in my business." And my first response was, "Why didn't you ever say anything?" Right? She was like, "Well, I don't comment. I don't like to comment and stuff, but you've helped me." Right. So I knew that, okay, there are people out there who need you, and you may not even know who they are. And I know maybe you guys in here have heard that before, but take that to heart. Like, when you don't show up, you don't know who else you're hurting besides yourself. So why not try it? Again, what's the worst that could happen? The offer doesn't work. Okay. My first offer on this didn't work either. Come back and try something different. And maybe at this point, maybe the group coaching offer wouldn't work. Okay. So go try something else. Keep trying something else until it works. That's marketing, right? That's the whole thing. So, to people who don't think they can do it, you're, how does Ray Hickman put it? You're being selfish. Right?
Yeah, my mentor used to
I've always taken
that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it really is, guys. If we're like focused on ourselves so much to we're in action because we're scared of what's going to happen, we are being selfish. And my mentor would hammer that into me as well. Like, because you're not doing the thing that could help another person, get to XYZ or get X result. Literally, that's the definition of being selfish, because you're scared of looking bad, not looking good, saying the wrong thing. What if you stutter? What if there's not enough value? All of that has to do with who? Focused on self, which is selfish. Right?
Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah. It's, and we all tell ourselves different stories. It just, whatever your story is, you've got to just recognize it for what it is. It's just something you're telling yourself. It doesn't mean it's the truth. Why not just take that step, see what happens?
I know there's going to be some fear, guys, because when you go and offer a group coaching, if you've never done it before, that might be that's a little bit weird, especially if you're just getting started, may not have the results you think you have or whatever. Test it. Just do, to me, I know, Bob, you the same way. Like, that fear is like, hey, that's where I should go. There's some growth there. Like, that's the sign. Like, there's something cool on the other side of that. Like, Bob showing you, telling you this evening, this is how he hit a quick rank quickly. He created a very, very simple, he doesn't put together, well, he might do some training slides or whatever on the group coaching, but it's a very simple, just most of it, like he said this evening, is access or hand holding or just the touch, knowing that Bob's going to be there. Everyone could do that. Everyone on this webinar could do that, in spite of the fear, in spite of the I'm not enoughs. Those are going to happen with anything big, and you start making moves, man, that stuff's going to pop up. Welcome to the show. That's part of entrepreneurship. So my question tonight is, who's going to do what Bob just told you this evening? Who's going to maybe throw out there and test over the next week or two with some type of, circle back with anyone who's had any shown any interest in XYZ, and just let them know that you're putting together a very, a simple group coaching based on maybe a problem they told you they had. Who's up for that game? Anyone gonna, like, truly, is anyone gonna actually do that now? And is there anything Bob can, last words of advice, any wisdom that Bob can give you to push you off the fence and leap? And I promise you the net will appear. And like Bob said, what's the worst that can happen? They say no. Okay. Any final questions about anything to Bob about this very simple process that blasted him to L4 this past week? Woohoo! Got a challenge coming up, Sharon. I love it. Hi, Stephanie. I love it. There was a question about moving from solo or one-on-one coaching to group. What was it? Didi, drop it here. Yeah, I think it was Didi. How do you start group coaching if you have individual clients? How would you move that offering into group?
So she already has individual clients?
Yeah, which is awesome. Congrats.
Yeah, that's a nice problem to have.
And how long do you know how to make the group coaching? Remember, Bob chose 6 months. Did you have was there a reason for that, or did that just sound good in your?
Yeah, I would try to think what would be like a can't miss offer for me if I was, that's kind of, it really was no, it could be 3 months, it could be 6, it could be anything.
Cool.
But how to take them, I mean, you could make it so she has individual coaching clients now, and she's asking how to get them into group.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be a tough one, Didi, because they probably paid you for one-on-one, and
they're probably used to your individual attention too.
Yeah. But you could, if you wanted to transition and you wanted more time, because I know that's a big thing for Bob, is time freedom to be with his family and his kids. You could, when it's time to renew, you could always say, move them into a group coaching program, which would be more cost effective, or you could come up with another creative, offer where they could, you could ask them if they want an add-on to be in group to support the one-on-one. Bob, you go ahead. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, what I would probably do is if I had existing clients who I was looking to maybe move into group, I would, quite honestly, I'd probably raise my prices for my individual coaching, right? And then do what you said, say, I do have a more cost-effective or easier way for you to make this financially, and it's a group coaching. That's what I'm doing. So that's, if you want to push it that way, that's probably what I would do.
And this is a no-brainer offer. Guys, we didn't even talk about high ticket pricing or pricing and framing in general. This is what is monthly premium right now? 167?
179.
179. Guys, for 6 months of group coaching, that's an insane offer. That is what, like, a jaw-dropping, no-brainer, irresistible, sexy, grand slam, whatever word you want to use. That is an offer. That is crazy. Especially when you value, Bob's a coach. He's a one-on-one coach who does, can charge a lot of money. And that's an offer. That's a really good offer.
There were some people would say it wasn't just a no-brainer, but it was insane. And I understand it, because it does seem kind of excessive, right? Like that's you're giving them a lot for that amount. But I really, I can't stress it enough how important audiences and how you can get, because MOSP, one thing MOSP is really good at all the time is when you take action and you get results and you hit a leadership level, Brian's out there the next day shouting your name, right? And that's really effective, because what will happen when that happens, when Brian does that, inevitably you're going to get other people coming at you. What did you do? How did you do that? And yeah, maybe they're an MOSP, but maybe you got something else going on that they might be interested in. Not that you're trying to sell anybody anything, but when they come at you, they want to know how to do things. Maybe you say, well, I'm putting together a group coaching. I'll show you how I did it. Right.
I mean, that's,
you could do that. You could do it. So, it's, to me, yes, it was a no-brainer. Yes, it was kind of crazy. But I don't regret it for a second. Not for a minute.
And keep in mind, guys, should he choose, he's got this in his back pocket to offer. John Serge was asking a couple of questions about does Bob email his list about this offer?
Yes,
he could. and he could do this ongoing. This is something if he wanted more clients, like he has now a group coaching offer that he can dangle as a bonus or charge upfront for.
Right. One other piece I didn't say that I probably should have is I did put a time limit on it.
Scarcity. Cool.
I said, I'm going to do this for a week, and I meant it. I was going to leave for a week. I hit it in about 4 days, so I stopped it. I still gave people a week, but like, so with your email list, you can't, like, I'm going to come back to this again, like you said, at another time, but for now it's off the table. So I think that's important too, is if you make it just an open-ended thing, hey, anybody who comes and gets this, people lose the kind of incentive to do it now.
Yeah, for sure.
So
cool. Yeah, some good questions there. Hope that helps, the urgency piece. And yes, he does email his list. And I just think that an ongoing evergreen offer of coaching, if you want it to add it and you like tonight's training and you dig Bob's vibe, and of course, who doesn't want to duplicate, success? It's just a core offer you can have on top of a network marketing, MLM, your own, products, courses, other people's courses. To have a group coaching to help them get to a result is always there's always cash there. As a business owner, revenue streams, that is a good thing to have. So,
there are always people willing to pay a little extra for some personal help. Always.
For sure. Yep. Guys, this has been awesome. Bob, thank you, man.
Yeah.
I love it, dude. Congrats on the L4 pop. Huge accomplishment. And we love that, obviously you're in the coaching program and you are, there's probably guys, many of you probably have Bob as a coach or have had him at a level 1 workshop or, attend his wake up calls. You're so giving, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And some people in the chat, actually the ones who took the offer. So thank you to you guys too.
Hey, social proof, y'all, that the thing works and they're happy, right? They're happy.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Right. It's good stuff, man. Anything you want to say before we wrap it up, sir?
No, man. I love being here. I love serving this community. Brian, I've already told you guys how much I love you guys so much, and how much you've helped me. Change. I know everybody says it, right? But you guys literally did change my life.
Oh.
And you allowed me to go from what I love to something I love just as much. But with this time, I get a lot more freedom doing it. So I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for having me on, man. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys got value from it.
Yeah, awesome, brother. Well, much respect, much love, man. And we've known you. You're one of the longstanding troops that me and Nor, first met back in the day. And it's so cool to see the relationship evolve here, and all of us grow together. And here you are, L4, and it's been awesome to see, man. And thank you. Guys, go find the dude. Go find him. Go love on him. Find him. He's over on Instagram. He's on Facebook. Say hi. He's one of the kindest dudes you will meet in this space, and a heart of gold who really does want to serve, as you saw tonight. So Bob, thanks, man. Congrats on the L4, dude. Looking forward to that jersey pop too at some point in the future. I'm certain of it.
I'm going to get measured pretty soon.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Much love, Bob. Guys, Dr. Bob Clark, everybody, drop an X in the chat. Go say hi to him. Thank you for being here. And if you are a guest, go to mlsp.com/10, mlsp.com/10, and you can take a 100% risk-free trial. If you're an affiliate, all that stuff's tracked. If you brought somebody here, there's magic stuff. You'll get credit for it. mlsp.com/10 for a completely risk-free trial. And you can see more of Bob behind the paywall, guys. He's in the back office. He's all over the place. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you guys for being here. This webinar is a wrap.